Welcome to another episode of the TUE Brew Review. This week we are checking out Muttersholtz. This is a German-style Hefeweizen, and this is from the Buffalo Creek Brewing Company out of Long Grove, Chicagoland northern suburb. That's actually been around for quite a while now. And my understanding is that the town of Long Grove was founded by German immigrants from Muttersholtz. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. It looks like it's it's in the kind of southwestern part of Germany, right on the Rhine River. It looked like it's almost like right there on the border of France. So this style of beer, very popular in German, especially during the summer months. What makes the Hefeweizen somewhat unique, and Hefeweizen means wheat and yeast. So this beer has a higher percentage of wheat than most German beers. And also it's the yeast, it's a very unique yeast that produces kind of some funky flavors. You'll get a lot of spices, you'll get like banana, in both the aromatics and the flavor profile with Hefeweizen style yeast, and it is often served with the yeast still in the finished product. Normally the yeast is filtered out, but this beer is in general unfiltered, so it is intentionally cloudy, and you're going to have that yeasty character. So the yeast and the spices kind of makes it somewhat of like a Belgian-y type of beer, but this is definitely a German summer seasonal. So let's go ahead and check this out. I love the colors and also the diagram on the can. Of course, you've got folks there in their German fare celebrating the summer months. You've got the colors that are very on point with what the German Hefeweizen is going to look like. This is a 16-ounce can, 5.3% ABV. Also, the Independent Craft Brewer logo. And then, yeah, as I described, it talks a little bit about how the town was settled. So let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, and one other thing, and it is on the bottom here, I forgot to point out. But one thing about whenever you're buying packaged Hefeweizen, one thing about the yeast being in the beer, this beer is not shelf stable. So make sure you buy it fresh and cold. Even better, get it fresh on tap where you can. But if you are going to buy it packaged, definitely check to see that it's been properly cared for and that it's fairly new. And I did look on the bottom of this. It does have a brewed on date. It is less than 30 days old, and I got it from a local beer purveyor that I know does a good job of taking care of their stock. So this is relatively fresh. So there's the pour. I didn't pour it very vigorously. Normally you get a little bit more of a big pillowy head because of the percentage of wheat, and it does dissipate quickly, as you'll see here. And that's because there's a lot of carbonation to this, and there's not a lot of body to this. Again, this is more light and refreshing. So you will see usually a big fizzy, frothy head, but it will dissipate quickly. And again, you get that kind of cloudy, so this is more like an amber gold color. So little, maybe a shade darker than what I see in some Hefeweizens, but definitely cloudy, and that is by design. And yeah, there's those very familiar Hefeweizen aromatics. You're getting the clove and the banana, and actually getting a little bit of like a citrusy lemon zest, and that's very, very much to style. A lot of times these beers will be served with a lemon wedge to help accentuate the flavors. Cheers. Yeah, nice, grainy. You get that wheat character, like whole wheat bread. So very grainy, getting a little hit of fruitiness, and quite a bit of sweetness, and those are all to style. But the hop character is very muted. Now, again, hop is a minor player in this. This is really a showcase for the malt and the wheat and the yeast. But there does need to be a little bit more supporting hops in this. I think this is just a little bit wanting. It's maybe a little bit too sweet. Now, it's again, I'm really trying to find the hops in here. It does finish out very dry and thirst quenching, as it should. Again, this is a very popular summertime seasonal. For a lot of it is because of the light flavors and the finish. And the banana and the clove, the spice, the yeast spice, is lingering, but once again, not really getting much in the way of hop spice. So, all the flavors are there. It checks the boxes, but the flavors seem to be somewhat restrained and dull. They should pop a little bit more. And I think that's a function of it being canned and packaged. I would love to try this fresh from the tap. I think you would just get more of a flavor showcase, where this one is just kind of restrained. But still very drinkable, light, refreshing, fizzy, good on a hot summer day. And I know some folks turn their Hefeweizens into something called a Radler, where they'll add lemonade to it. And I think those are available prepackaged in a lot of your local liquor stores and grocery stores. So yeah, Radler is a Hefeweizen with lemonade. So this beer, as I would with any Hefeweizen, if you can find it fresh from the tap, that's the first objective. But if you got to go with a packaged product, make sure you check the freshness date on it to make sure you get something as fresh as possible. Once again, this is Muttersholtz Hefeweizen from Buffalo Creek Brewing. Cheers. Prosit.